Welcome into the Press Row Show, the #1 rated pregame intermission postgame show this side of Mississippi, south of the Arctic Circle, north of the equator, and west of Manhattan. I think it is technically west of Manhattan.
Southwest?
Well, yeah, but like definitely west.
Yes, definitely.
Like if you drew a line, we're west of Manhattan.
I would say part of Jersey is east of Manhattan.
Yeah.
Like the part that sticks out.
Yeah.
Like where the shores are, kind of thing.
As you'll notice, there are only two of us here. You will notice that Bundy is not here. Bundy is sick today. He's been under the weather for a few days. We wish him a very speedy recovery. I'm not going to give details here, but it sounds like some of that sickness that's been going around in the Delaware Valley may have finally hit our, number 6 in your program, number 1 in our hearts, Chris Therien. So we send him our best for a speedy get back. And you'll also notice that Anthony SanFilippo is not here. Now, those of you who keep up with things on social media may be aware Anthony has been running his mouth a lot. And so I exercised my executive control of Joy Media, and I have suspended Anthony SanFilippo for tonight's game. That's not true. That's his laptop. He had to spend more than 20 minutes in the car getting over here, so apparently...
An hour and a half, Russ.
An hour and a half. Not that anybody else would know what that's like. But he'll eventually be here when he's done visiting the water closet, shaking hands with the president. What are some other euphemisms for using the bathroom? There he is.
As they say in Canada, the washroom.
The washroom. The loo. The loo, as they say. The water closet. And there he is. Look at him. Do you think he knows what we're talking about in tinkling?
I don't think
so. Get a couple of other tinkle comments in before he sits down. There he is. Look at him.
I don't know. I have
tinkle, tinkle, tinkle. Anthony SanFilippo's here.
Hello, Anthony.
Hey, pal.
Hey, guys.
Do you want your laptop?
Well, yeah. I won't be able to see what anybody's commenting otherwise.
Yeah, that might be for the better. Welcome in. Flyers Rangers tonight. Obviously, one of the very few matchups that year in and year out over the past couple of seasons has had a level of vitriol and to some extent the closest thing to a playoff atmosphere that we've had probably in the last 2 years. It's the Ducks games, and then it's usually Flyers Rangers here.
More on the weekends.
Yeah.
Because it's a day game, people bring their kids, and people have an easier time getting up from the city, or to get down from the city.
Getting down from that city.
Going southwest.
Not the airlines.
Yeah. No.
But Anthony's here. Anthony.
Yeah.
What kind of atmosphere do you expect tonight? It's not a prototypical Flyers Rangers.
I'll tell you what.
Game.
So I barely got down here today in time. And I don't know what it is about all of a sudden traffic in Delaware County. It had nothing to do with here. It was out in Delco. It's making what used to be a 25-minute trip into an hour and 20-minute trip now all of a sudden. It's crazy. But because I got down here later than usual, it's packed out there. Like, there's a lot of fans here and a lot of Rangers fans here, too. I don't know if they bought the tickets at the beginning of the year with the intention of this, thinking that this was going to be a big game or whatever the case might be. And then, of course, they've had the season that they've had. Maybe. But I'll tell you what, and I was discussing this with Charlie O'Connor on the elevator coming into the building. For all the people who thought that there was going to be like this big revolt against the organization and not show up or whatever, sure are a heck of a lot of people still coming down to this building, aren't there?
Well, I think Ranger fans are probably coming because they win more on the road than they do at home.
I understand that, but I'm saying even Flyer fans. Like, I mean, you're getting a lot of Flyers fans still coming down here.
Well, I can tell you that tonight is a special night, Anthony. It's not just your run-of-the-mill game. Tonight is fourth wing night.
I don't know what that is still.
You see that sweater? That sweater? It's fourth wing. It's apparently a fantasy romance novel. It's It is part of a series of books. I actually looked this up because somebody told me about it.
I stopped someone wearing this.
It is part of the, what was it called? Like Esperian? Where are we at? Empyrean series. It includes books like Fourth Wing, Iron Flame, and Onyx Storm. So there's some kind of collaboration between the Flyers and that book series. So the people who, I guess, bought a special ticket package. They got a ticket. They got this sweatshirt. The sweater's amazing. It has like dragons down the middle of the back of it, and then on the front, and then
I haven't walked 2 feet without seeing people wearing it.
Yeah, and then on the front there's like another dragon. So Anthony,
was that a giveaway tonight?
It's a special like ticket package.
All right.
So while you're right that there are a good amount of people here, at least up here, that's what it's part of.
Yeah.
It's almost like it's like going to a giant book club or something.
Feels like it.
But
yeah,
it is it's a cool sweatshirt.
Everyone knows, everyone sees everyone wearing it, and they feel part of, a group. It's kind of nice.
So,
yeah.
Had it not been Fourth Wing Night, I don't know. Had it not been a Rangers game, I don't know. We'll find out over the next few games how the fans feel and how many of them come out and all that. We'll find out soon enough.
We just got a super chat, Jackie.
Andrew Fawcett.
No, I am not picking the 3 stars.
Amadeo, clip that so we can use it as a sound drop. Yeah.
Ant, did you see Luzardo signed a contract, by the way?
I heard it on the way in.
5 years, $135 million.
That's great.
Jesus Luzardo.
Yeah, it's good.
Pitcher. Yeah, pitcher.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good contract.
Quite a good pitcher.
Yeah.
For the Phillies?
Yes.
Yeah. He pitched for them last year.
Good contract.
Good dude.
There's a few things I want to talk about, though, while we're here,
Yes.
since we've wasted the first 6 minutes, and we have Jackie.
It's not wasting.
Right? Well, no.
You want to talk about the sunshine, Jackie? Jackie, do you have a hard time waking up this morning with the time change?
That was yesterday.
Yesterday was really bad for me because I had a 7 a.m. flight that ended up so I got to the airport at 6, and then we got delayed anyway, and then I had to go to practice. Very long day for me.
Yeah.
Very exhausting day.
But you know what? But
Jackie, sunshine at night is good.
It didn't.
Yes.
It didn't stop you from writing a story.
It did not.
And I wanted to kind of talk about that story because the lead to your story, I mean, the first paragraph of your story references our show.
It did. It did.
I was impressed.
Well, because
it was all about Alex Bump, by the way.
2 weeks ago, a little over 2 weeks ago,
yes,
I was on your show, but also part of the reason I was there was to talk to Alex Bump because I was supposed to go to Lehigh Valley the next day anyway.
And you saved yourself a trip.
I saved myself a trip also because I was supposed to talk to Oliver Bonk.
Right.
Which, if you read the paper, we also had a massive Q&A with Oliver Bonk that was published also. I ended up talking with him instead in Philly because he got called up. But yeah, no, I had a whole story planned on how Alex Bump's season has gone and how he's progressed and how he's, could be the next guy up anyway. And then I kind of knew when I asked the question to Danny Briere on Friday, I think you were sitting next to me, and I kind of knew, I heard some rumblings that Alex was getting called up at some point. So when I asked him about filling the roster spots, even though people on Twitter might not have been too, they thought I should ask harder questions. Although I did do an entire Q&A one-on-one with Danny Briere on Saturday in Pittsburgh. Come
on, Jackie, we don't know how to do our jobs. None of us know how to do our jobs.
That's why I really
Jackie.
wasn't asking. But I knew the answer. But as I think I whispered to you, I was like, just say it on the record. Because I knew it was coming.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was coming the next day at that moment. But I knew that Alex Bump was the next guy up. He'd been playing very well. I talked to John Snowden earlier in the week. I talked to Alan McCauley the day before about Alex Bump, and he wouldn't allude to anything either. But what we saw from Alex Bump is the Alex Bump I've been watching very intently since Frozen 4 when I was in St. Louis. That's not the guy we saw in preseason. That's the guy that we should have seen in preseason.
Yep.
That we did not.
Yeah, I mean, what 4 and 5 games he had for the Phantoms before he got called up?
4 and 6.
4 and 6. 4 and 6. That's what it was. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then of course he scores the goal the other night.
Yeah. That's an Alex Bump goal. Although it wasn't a pull and shoot, and that's like his favorite way to shoot the puck is a pull and shoot.
Yeah.
But it was still. He said he bobbled it and shot it and closed his eyes, basically. The usual, I closed my eyes and shot.
I was having a conversation with Denver Barkey last week, I guess, whenever it was. It was not the trade deadline. The last time I was over at Voorhees before that. And I was talking to him about Alex Bump, and he said this guy's game is made for the NHL. It's made for the NHL. He says you're gonna see an even different level of player at this level.
Yeah, I was actually very impressed by his game because I know, talking to Snowden, I talked to him in November when the offense wasn't great, and we were like, maybe it's time to call him up because he's known to be a sharpshooter. Like, he's known to be a sniper, a guy who can score. He mentioned that he wasn't great with Alex Bump lives down the middle. Like, he drives to the net. He always cuts to the middle. He might be a little bit of Bobby Brink that would do that. Maybe a little bit more with his head up, but
better shot.
But he's known also Minnesotan actually, which is funny. We swapped one Minnesotan for another, but I think he's known for going to the net, going to the middle of the ice. He loves to cut to the middle of the ice. But what I was impressed with on Saturday was his board work, which is something that John Snowden had been pressing and telling him he needed to be better at. And I thought the way he was turning away from guys, making moves away to put the puck possession. And also the big difference I saw is that he was holding on to the puck way more than anything else, which at the Frozen Four, he was getting bumped off it pretty easily. And that was not the case. I did ask him on Sunday, I was like, Alex, how much muscle? Because he looked bigger than when I remember seeing him in April. He said he put on like 15 pounds. He was doing a lot of work.
Yeah.
And it showed.
Certainly does. And, obviously it was just one game. If you recall, the first game, Denver Barkey played for the Flyers. He had a great game, 2 assists, I believe, right, that he had in that first game?
Yes.
Yeah.
One was to tip it, I think.
Yeah. I forget who the 2 goal scorers were, but he had 2 assists.
Yeah, one was a power play goal.
Right. And in his first game, we were like, holy cow, what a great debut.
Yeah.
Alex Bump had a similar debut. Let's see how it progresses. Denver Barkey's had a pretty solid, campaign. He's had to come out of the lineup a couple times just because, it's the NHL is rigorous, right? And it's first time here. Bump coming up a little later in the season. Maybe it won't be as much for him. Maybe he's a constant in the lineup and continues to perform. I thought, by the way, it was a great story, Jackie. Not just because you mentioned us. I mean, that's a great lead.
I appreciate it.
It's a great lead, but no, the way you dove into it. So
it was supposed to come out Wednesday or Thursday anyway this week.
Yeah.
And then obviously I had to change it all.
Yeah.
I will probably if I get to it. There's a lot. Snowden. I'm sure you've talked to John Snowden. John Snowden likes to talk, and there's a lot of comments and a lot of things that I didn't put in the story because it changed. Like I talked to his parents. I had more about like the game. So Alan McCauley had more on him also, kind of stuff. It's a little moot now because it was about what he needs to do to make the NHL, and obviously he's now made the NHL. But yeah, hopefully if I get around to it, I'll put out more of those quotes. Yeah.
Another thing I wanted to talk to you about because we were together on Friday over in Voorhees. They make the trade for David Jiricek, and the assumption was that he would just come right in and play by a lot of people. I even thought that he would be a quickly get here. Sounds like they're going to send him to the Phantoms. Doesn't sound like they obviously sent him to the Phantoms first for a little bit. But here's what I'm hearing, Jackie. Tell me if you heard the same thing. Phantoms got 6 games in the next 10 nights. It's a pretty compact schedule for them.
Right.
Comes through those 6 games, we're going to see a call-up.
I haven't heard anything specifically, but I do know, having spoken to Danny Briere on Saturday in Pittsburgh, in the Q&A that'll come out tomorrow at theinquirer.com.
Okay,
like
good,
that? Like
good
that?
Promotion.
But he did say, and we did talk about skating, and we talked about like his development and the fact that he kind of worked his way out of Columbus, which is very public. Everyone knows about that.
Right.
But he did mention that they do want to see him at some point. So it wouldn't surprise me if he gets called up. I guess the question is, you can call up whoever you want. I think. No, you only have 4 call-ups.
You have 4.
So I think Alex technically counts as 1.
I think so does Barkey counts as 1 too, because he was a paper transaction to get onto the Phantoms roster at the deadline, and then they recalled him. So I think they've already used 2. I think they've already used 2 of their 4.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So maybe he doesn't come up.
Well,
no, he will.
No, he probably will because, in all honesty, a goaltender can become an emergency.
Correct.
Call-up,
you don't have to burn one if you need a third goalie.
Yeah, like if somebody, Goffey gets hurt.
Right. Yeah.
But
so I think so we're looking at the next 10 days, maybe that weekend, not 2 weekends from now is probably the time you would look at it.
Yeah, I don't know who Carter Moan is.
I'm assuming that's Porter. I'm assuming Porter Moan is Porter Martone.
But he does not count.
That's Porter Money.
Because he would sign
Mercedes Money's.
He would sign the ELC.
Yeah.
So he would not count towards the 4.
Right. If Martone can just come right in. He does not count as one of the 4.
Yeah.
That's correct. So that's going to be really kind of interesting to see how Jiricek plays with the Phantoms over the next 10 days, because I think that right after that you're probably looking at him coming up. So good stuff.
It'll be interesting to see. I know he had a little bit of an up and down debut with the team yesterday. He scored a goal, but he also was the primary reason for a goal against. If I didn't see it, but I saw it, on Twitter a little bit. He does need to work on his skating.
Mm-hmm.
But he's a was he 6'4"?
6'4".
6'4",
right?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
big defenseman, big right shot. You know, it's
22 years
he is
old.
part of the future. Yeah, like I think they really look at him as part of that core with Sanheim and York and Drysdale and obviously the forwards, the young forwards that they have in the system and coming in too. So
Yeah. I'm surprised Russ hasn't brought it up yet, but I figured, this would be right down his alley. You got the quote that Charlie put out yesterday that went pretty wild on social media.
Yeah.
Yep.
About Tocchet saying about Michkov going back to the right and why you put him back on the right
I
side.
have some thoughts.
Yeah, I want to get your thoughts on it before I say anything.
Well, to be honest, when I asked the question on Saturday in Pittsburgh about now that Brink's not there, like, what are your plans? I was hoping you would say that he was putting Matvey on the right side, and then when he did, I think I blacked out. So I was just like, oh, we're doing this. Like, this is finally. Because obviously Matvey has expressed that he feels more comfortable on the right side. It's an interesting comment from him yesterday. He started saying how, because of Brink, that's why. And to be honest, I had heard that the day before, so I kind of put my head down for a second to think of like because a lot of times when you're here, when somebody's answering, you're trying to think of the next question.
Right? Yeah. Because your recorder's taping what they're saying, right?
Yeah, and God forbid I don't say it properly out of my mouth, like people will have what to say.
Right.
So, I do my best when I'm trying to ask these questions, but that's whatever. But
the quote,
yeah.
the quote in totality, quote, well, Bobby leaving and then Mitch wants to try it. We'll see. I've got my thoughts on that, but we'll see how it goes.
I've got my thoughts. I got my thoughts is he could have just stopped.
Right.
We'll see.
He could have just omitted the middle. He could have just
so
learn a goddamn lesson at some point. It is so I talked about this on my show this morning. I am not looking to once again get into this is why Tocchet needs to be better. But given everything that has happened this year, given the kerfuffle and the botched quotes and everything at the carnival that led to the GM having to come out and address the comments a few nights later, here's an idea. This is what you say. Well, Bobby left, and then Michkov wants to try it. We'll see how it goes.
That's
there
what
you go.
Said.
Here's another one. Well, Bobby leaving. Michkov wants to try it. He had a lot of success there last year. He's had some good spurts, played pretty well there. We'll give it a shot. 20 games left. There you go. We think that he can play really well in that position with Barkey on the same line. Think that could help Barkey's development, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Pick your poison. Don't say I have thoughts. When you say I have thoughts, it then opens the line of questioning. It opens the line of questioning of, was this Rick Tocchet's decision?
No, nobody's saying...
Did the front office happen to say, hey, I think it's probably worth a look?
So let me give you a little insight.
Nobody's saying
let me give a little
to
insight into that. What you just said, okay? Yeah. Because there's a lot of conversation of the front office and the coach are not aligned on this, and this is where the pushback I'll give. First of all, I agree with you, Russ. Rick Tocchet does not. He should not be speaking the way he speaks, because he should have known by now, right?
Correct.
If you didn't know before the carnival thing, if you didn't know back, a couple months ago when he was saying the things that he was saying, and the fans overreacted the way that they did, if you didn't know then, this is strike 3 as far as comments of you should know better.
Yeah.
This is on you now, and Rick Tocchet should not be saying the things that he's saying. That said, this is not a situation where management goes in and says, do it this way. I don't care how you want it done. Mm-hmm. Management and coaching staff meet daily.
Sure.
I mean, every day. And they discuss these things for an hour or 2 hours every day, okay? And a lot of times these decisions are made 2 weeks out, right? They're not determined. It's not like they got together after the trade deadline on Friday and said, okay, now what do we do? This was all part of the conversation beforehand. So this is not something that is like, okay, I want to do it my way, but they're saying I have to do it another way. When he's saying he has thoughts on it, I think what he means, and we could see this soon, if the defensive miscues outweigh the offensive opportunities and offensive chances, he's going to put them back. And I think that's what his thoughts are, right? That's the thoughts that he's not expressing now publicly, but I think
then it kind of falls. This is where, if you look at that quote in a vacuum, it's a nothing burger of a quote.
Correct.
In a vacuum, it's a nothing burger.
Correct.
With the context of everything that's happened this season, it's no longer a nothing burger.
But it is a nothing burger. It is a nothing burger for the team and the players in that locker room. It's not a nothing burger for the public,
which is who you're trying to ultimately sell tickets to and close out the season and like build up some good equity with this fan base in what will probably be another year without the playoffs. You at some point, if you're him, you have to do better than that. You can't allow for gray area. You can't allow for things being open for interpretation. This is where I even come back to, like, there's a debate out there about whether or not, like, the time in TV, does that make you more media savvy or not? Does it make you more unfiltered or not? To me, it's just like, dude, this isn't helpful. It's not productive.
When he says I have some thoughts, I think part of it is that he's just, and Anthony, you could correct me if I'm wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And this is not based on anything I've heard anywhere.
Yeah.
It's just my own opinion of what I've witnessed in the year, is that he is old school, traditionalist. Left shots go on the left side, right shots go. He's even the defense. He's like, oh, I need a left shot and a right shot, not two lefties like Cam York and Travis Hunter, who have played very well together over the years. He's very traditionalist viewing with his, and I've written this a couple articles, that it comes across like he's very traditionalist, that if you're a left shot, you have to play on the left side of the ice because it protects the wall and it protects, usually you're facing a right shot defenseman in that corner, so it's the same side of the stick.
Yeah, the whole decision is, this whole thing is all about defense. It has nothing to do with the offensive part of the game.
But having said that, if you have a 20-year-old kid who's very good at what he does and is very comfortable being on the right side, play him more on the right. Now, I will say he did play left side a little bit last year.
Yep, he did.
With Konechny and Sean Couturier, more under Bradshaw, I think it was.
Yeah. That's also when Shaw had him playing 16-ish minutes a night, I think, like down the stretch. He was getting more minutes, but still, like, so it's not like it's not this like earth-shattering thing to move him to the left side. He's done it. I'm just a little surprised that he's not producing, and he wasn't producing as much. So why not try him on the right side? That's where to me there's like so much cognitive dissonance in like the decision to have him play on the left instead of the right. Like you're effectively presenting to the fans all year, we're trying to win as many games as we can. We're trying to make the playoffs. This team, from a production standpoint, for a team that struggles to score goals consistently, one of their best, if not their most dangerous player, and the one who certainly has the highest upside to be that guy, is Michkov. And so, like, if you are actively trying to win every game, I would make the argument that production-wise, you are better off having him play on the right side.
And I think there's also, and again, in my Q&A with Danny Briere, I should include this as well, because I did
Where's that going to be available?
At PhillyInquirer.com/sports, I think it is. I don't know. Yeah. Inquirer.com.
Inquirer.com. You don't even know your own website?
Aunt, just let it go.
Oh no, I do hit.
She called Snowden. She called Snowden John Snowden before, because I think she's been watching some Game of Thrones. We don't have to bring up.
Did I really?
You did. It's okay.
Yeah, that's all right.
It's okay.
It is.
Jay.
What?
Go ahead. Continue.
John Snowden is the name of the head coach of the Lehigh Valley.
That was Jay. Isn't it
No,
Jay?
it's John Snowden.
Who's Jay?
I don't know.
Who's the Jay guy?
I don't know.
Listen, if you're gonna come at me with making fun,
use my tweet against me.
No, but I will make fun of you for calling the website by two different names that it used to have.
I missed when it was called
Philly.com.
What's up, intern?
well, that's Daily News, I think. Right?
What's up?
Jay Snowden is the CEO of Penn National Gaming.
Thank you.
Who?
Penn National Gaming.
I don't even know what that is.
Great company.
No, but what I was gonna say is that I did ask, Danny Briere straight up. I said, What were your thoughts on Matt Vay's comments about that he's happier playing on the right?
Jay McKee's who I was thinking of. Sorry, continue.
That's the Brampton.
Brantford.
I know. Anyway, that about Matt Vay's comments that he's happier on the right side, and was part of playing Matt Vay on the left because you had too many right wings.
Yeah.
And he said, that's part of it. Like, because you had your Bobby Branks, your Travis Konechny's, they've been playing Owen Tippett played left side. Owen Tippett and Tyson Forster both played left side the last 2 years.
Correct.
Under John Tortorella, because I wrote about them playing their off wing way too many times. And then you have So you have, and he's been playing Tippett on the right.
Mhm.
The only one who wasn't playing technically his wing was Forster. So I think, you have 3 top wingers there. Travis Konechny can't play the left side. I think we've learned that a little bit. So I guess maybe Matt, we don't know the conversation either. Maybe he's like, would you be willing to play? Who's willing to play left? And somebody raised his hand. I don't know. We don't know how the whole conversation was figured out, but he's obviously more comfortable on the right. And now that Bobby brings on here, there is an open space on the right. And then we'll see what happens because Porter Martone is a right winger.
Right winger. Yeah.
So
guess who's going to end up back on the left?
Travis Konechny.
Owen Tippett should play left.
Yeah, there you go.
He flies either side.
So yeah, I mean, look, I honestly think that's the case. This is all going to be incumbent upon how he plays defensively, where if he turns the puck over, where he's turning the puck over, like that's all going to be the more important part of this.
Mm-hmm.
And if that outweighs, if that's more happening with more frequency than offensive production, he's going to go back on the left. Pretty certain of that.
Well, you got 20 games to see how it plays out, right?
Maybe a little less.
No, but I'm saying you have 20 games till the end of the year. So
No, but I'm saying if Martone arrives sooner, it'll be the other. He could go back sooner.
Could be.
But I do kind of you look at Jordan posted the line. Jordan Hall of NBC Sports.
Yeah.
Posted the lines tonight, and you have your Grunstrom's up playing with Zegras and Tippett. I think that was the line the other night. Bump is now with Konechny. And I thought he played really well with Grabenkin. But what I'm saying is that Grabenkin is now left wing, and he's playing right wing the other night. It's not bad to have some versatility and to be able to play both sides. I mean, look at Travis Sanheim. That's basically why Travis Sanheim was at the Olympics.
Correct. It happens. It happens all the time in hockey.
And also,
guys move left to right all the time.
For anyone who's played the sport, and I mean, I think Tocchet has even said it too, but for anyone who's played the sport, where your wing is a lot to do with more where you line up on a face-off or your coverage in the defensive zone. It has nothing to do with the offensive zone.
Zegras in center is interesting.
Don't say that, though, Jackie, because if you say that, people are going to tell you don't know what you're talking about.
With what?
Just Google.
That it doesn't matter what wing you are on the offensive zone.
You cross all the time.
All the time. Constantly.
A lot of time you're even splitting the ice in half and only playing half the side.
Yeah.
If you look at Alex Bump's goal the other night, they were only on one half of the ice basically.
Yeah.
It's really just about where you line up, and even when you line up sometimes, because you might put your winger on the inside versus the outside.
Correct.
Or
Correct.
So
I actually like the Bump Dvorak Konechny line.
Yeah, they play.
I think
Travis and him play together.
That's setting Bump up for success, for sure.
Konechny and Bump played together in the preseason too.
Kate's Barkey and Michkov could work. Yeah.
Michkov and Barkey definitely have a connection.
Zegras playing in the middle is interesting, especially given Danny's comments at the post-deadline presser where he effectively said they view him as a wing. He would love to see Zegras be a center and be able to say that he is a center, but he's played better as a wing.
Right.
It's interesting that here we are.
Yeah.
I wonder, is this going to be a one-time thing? Are we going to see them try to mix a few more of these games in? And, by the way, Trevor Zegras still doesn't have a contract beyond this year, so
it's interesting to get Glendening.
Yeah, that's the thing. The only problem is you really can't. They don't want to move Coots back up the lineup. That's part of the problem. Like Glendening could be a fourth line center, but now you basically have 2 fourth line centers. That's the conundrum that you're in. So they're hoping that Zegras can do something in that position, even though he's better on the wing, as Briere said, and it's accurate. It's more of a thing as Couturier's his only value is those face-offs at this point and killing penalties.
Yeah, and being a defensive responsibility late.
Yeah, defensive responsibility late, face-offs, killing penalties. But that's pretty much it. He doesn't have a value to try and generate offense earlier in the game in the top 9 role. He just doesn't.
Yeah.
So you're really kind of, in a tough spot there.
I wanted to throw something out to you guys here. We have about 5 minutes before the puck drops. On this one. Do you want to stay or do you want to go? What do you want to do?
I'll stay because I don't think I can squeeze past either one of you guys.
So the Zegras of it all is interesting because he's an RFA coming up.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think people have started to kind of try to put together how do the Flyers maybe try to make a splash this offseason. They're still talking about the fact that they have this cap money available. There are no unrestricted free agents available. The trade market was an absolute disaster at the deadline for centers. I mean, you could have probably gotten a killing for a guy like Dvorak. They don't seem to be heading into the bottom where they're going to get a high pick in the lottery, nor are there many centers in this draft. There's only one other potential path that you could try to explore, and it does just so happen that there are some very good centers available as free agents, but they're not the easy to get free agents.
Oh, I wasn't even going to say that.
What were you going to say?
Well, I don't know if they're NHL ready just yet, but guess what, Russ?
What?
In my Q&A with Danny Briere, we talk about the center position also.
Oh, do you?
But there are some very good wingers in the system centers in the system.
Are there?
Jack Berglund has been impressive.
Would be nice.
He was really impressive at World Juniors.
I got no beef with Berglund.
I don't have any beef with Berglund either. He said, obviously Nesbitt's a bit of a project still.
Yep.
Luchenko,
he's a project.
I would say he's a little bit of a project offensively.
Yeah.
But can we all agree that this lineup does need speed?
Yeah.
The lineup absolutely needs more speed.
Correct.
And Jet Luchenko would bring that.
Correct.
I don't know.
He just can't be allergic to shooting because we had a guy who played in this building, played for the Sixers. His name was Ben Simmons. We don't need that. But I want to hijack back to the other thing, if I may, Jackie.
Sure.
Because Jet Luchenko, Jack Nesbitt, Jack Berglund, they are not going to be the answer at 1C for this team.
No.
So, Ant, there are exceptional, I would argue, or pretty damn close to very, very good, certainly would be the top center on this team. Guys like Connor Bedard, can't imagine that there's any path to getting him as an RFA. Then you have a guy like Leo Carlson. You have a Fantilli out there as well. Is there a scenario in your head? I mean, I used to play this game a lot where I would hope that eventually a GM would have the balls to do it, but it seems like no one wants to hurt each other's feelings with an offer sheet. So, except for Suzuki. Suzuki was one.
Well, Carolina, Carolina and Montreal went back and forth every year. Yeah, that was fun.
So, and there was what's it called?
Kokonyemi.
Kokonyemi. That's what it was. Yeah.
Gotta love the chaos.
Like, Ant, is there a path? Is it even a conversation worth having?
So if you're going to take that swing, and that's a big swing,
it'll cost you 4 first-round picks.
You better get it right.
If you go over $11.4 million a year,
and you'd have to,
it's 4 first-round picks.
You'd have to.
So, can I play a game here? What is the max salary you can offer?
Well, there is no max.
I don't think there is a max.
So, let me ask you a question.
But based on what you offer is what you have to give up.
No, I know. I'm saying if you go over $11.4 million, it's 4 first-round picks.
Yeah.
If I'm the Flyers and I have this money, right? Carlson, good player. Fantilli, good player. Is there any scenario the Flyers get really frisky and say, F it, 20+ million, Connor Bedard, 4 first-round picks. We're going all in to get that 1C. It's not a guarantee that he would take the deal, but do the Flyers even entertain the notion?
So you work with agents. So the thing that nobody really talks about when those RFA deals is you're working with the player's agent. So the more money, so the player is going to accept the deal that you put on the table because the agent's going to work with you to put it together, right?
Yeah.
So that if you offer $20 million to Connor Bedard, he's going to accept it if his agent has worked that deal out with you.
Yeah.
You can, but man, are you like you're really at risk.
Yeah.
With that,
how the offer sheets work is like you have to make sure when I said last summer that I thought an offer sheet was coming, I wasn't saying this out of the blue. Like I kind of knew there was one potentially coming for a player, but then things happened that were actually out of the player's control that led to it not happening. But that means that the agent and, like, let's say the Flyers were the ones offering the offer sheet. The agent and the Flyers have already an agreement in place, and the Flyers are also doing the math to make sure, because when you do that, you also make sure the other team can't match.
Correct.
So you want to
it's
get
a team. It's got to be a poison pill.
Yeah, you want to get a team that's in financial trouble and has no way of matching something. When you like Kokonyemi was like so outrageous, Montreal couldn't match it, and he got overpaid for his job in the process.
Isn't it also like? Can I just because we have to go? Can I just throw this out as food for thought? We can get into this later in the week, or if you guys want to do this during intermissions. If you're going to put 4 first-round picks at risk, it's got to be for a player who you think can fundamentally change your franchise. To me, Bedard is that kind of guy.
I don't think that's going to happen though.
Well, I'm just because I
Well, they just got rid of guys.
I wouldn't want to have 4 first-round picks go for Carlson or Fantilli. And I think the only way for you to get one of those guys is to offer the kind of money it would require. Anyway, we threw a little wrench here at the end. First intermission, second intermission, postgame. We're back here at the Press Row Show. Thank you to Jackie Spiegel. Go read her on Inquirer.com.
/
All right, we'll talk to all of you. First intermission, second intermission, postgame here on the Press Row Show.
It's me. Hi. I'm the intern. It's me. This is the Press Row Show, #1 rated pregame intermission postgame show this side of the Mississippi, south of the Antarctic Circle, north of the equator, west of, Lebanon. Russ had to leave early. He's going to New York. He's going to Manhattan. So he had to leave early, which begs the question, why didn't he just stay, do the whole show, and then stow away on the Rangers bus?
That's all he had to do.
It's that he would have saved so much more money on gas.
First of all, I don't understand why he drives.
I don't know. And I spoke to him.
Just get on the damn train.
I said it to him earlier, and he's like, he doesn't even expense the gas money. He's like, it's just doing business. I was like, you can probably expense that. But I mean, he's small enough that he could fit in Shesterkin's suitcase.
But in all honesty, just park at 30th Street, take the train, and get your car when you come back and drive home. I don't understand why he drives. Anyway, that's Russ. He's having more of an adventure tonight than we are, because we have to sit here and watch this.
Maybe that's why he left. So here's the thing.
What a disaster of a period that was, wasn't it?
The only team in the entire Eastern Conference that has fewer regulation wins than the Flyers are the Rangers. And they are now staring down the barrel of losing to this team for the third time this season.
Yeah.
It was the most uninspiring. And I understand both teams not really having the season that they were hoping. But it's still a pretty big rivalry game, I would think. And they came out so flat against the team you probably hate the most and are just getting bullied in your own building by this team again. Remember, we played them like a month or so ago, and they beat us 6-3 here.
Yeah. I gotta see the replay of the first goal again, and maybe the people in the chat can tell us. That might have been on Vladar, believe it or not. If I'm right,
it was Noah Laba's 7th goal this season.
Yeah, if I'm right, he should have made the initial save and held the puck. And it did not come out of, and it either popped out of his glove or hit his glove and never went in, and then it goes there and Lava puts it in. I got to see the replay again, but I'm pretty sure that one was on Vladdy.
So Nick Obey, Mika owns the Flyers.
Yeah, well,
so this isn't even my stat of the night, but I have a bonus stat for you.
Okay, give me the bonus stat now, because to steal a line from the Flyers coach, the second goal, I have thoughts.
So this is Mika Zibanejad's 52nd career game against the Flyers.
Yeah.
I'm going to take a guess at how many points he has in those games.
In 52 games?
Yeah.
58.
It's a little bit lower. It's 49.
Oh, okay. Well,
24 goals, and that last Rangers goal, Zibanejad had an assist. That was his 25th assist in his career against the Flyers.
Yeah.
24 and 25 in 52 games against the Flyers. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I don't know how and why he does it. It's just he is Gretzky whenever he plays the Flyers.
Yeah, it's wild.
He's almost a point per game player.
I mean, he's a good player. I mean, it's not to diminish the fact. I mean, he is a solid player. It was his 26th goal of the season. He hasn't scored them all against the Flyers, right? So,
I think that he did. I think all 26
it feels
of them were
like
against
it.
the
It
Flyers.
feels like he scored all 26 against the Flyers.
You have thoughts?
Well, nobody wants to talk about what happens on that second goal, but you have a wide open Zibanejad because a certain forward is standing there watching the play at the bottom of the circle on his wing. Go back and watch it. Just go back and watch him standing there. I'm not trying to be critical of him specifically, but watch the play, watch the replay, and I double checked and confirmed. I wanted to make sure before I said anything. Go back and watch the play, and you'll see what happens. The third one, there's multiple mistakes on the third one. Obviously, Alex Bump can't take the penalty. You're on the power play. Got to control your stick. I know it was probably accidental, but you got to be smarter about that. You got to be careful. And then the play, I'm not sure if it was Ristolainen or Jamie Drysdale. I'm not sure who. So the Flyers have a chance at Risto is skating down the wing because the Flyers got possession of the puck. Couturier has it in the neutral zone, and you could see Risto kind of flying through the neutral zone to try and get a breakaway, and Couturier tries to hit him. The pass is tipped, whatever, and the Rangers get it back. As Risto's coming back up the ice, Andrew, you can see him pointing to the bench, and Drysdale is ready to come on. And then for whatever reason there, I don't know if it's a miscommunication. Again, that's why I say I don't know if it's on Risto or if it's on Drysdale. Drysdale doesn't come on, and Risto kind of stays on Like it looks like he was going to go to the bench, and then he decided to stay in the play. So maybe it's on Risto. I'm not 100% sure. Either way, now you have a tired defenseman getting back to try and kill a penalty, right? And the Rangers do move the puck well around. Those guys do move the puck around well, and you get Lafreniere open in the high slot, and Risto's trying to make a play. He's reaching for it, just misses it, but whatever. I mean, like that's the difference between having a tired defenseman on the ice and a fresh defenseman on the ice.
How long had he been out there at that point?
Well, it's not that it was really long. First of all, killing penalties takes a little bit more out of you just than your normal shift, right?
Right. Okay.
But secondly, he had just sprinted down the ice to try and make. That's my point. Like if he had just been out there and not really doing anything, it's fine. He probably has his lungs. But the fact that he just bolted down the ice and then had to come back, and then you see him trying to looking like he wanted to get off and then staying on. Now all of a sudden the mind is trying to play catch up to the body. Like there's a lot that goes into that, right? And that's a dual mistake. That should be Drysdale should be ready to hop on as soon as Risto gets towards the bench, or Risto should know to come off, one or the other. And that leads to the third goal by the Rangers. And so, it's one mistake after another. It's not any one player's fault. It's multiple players have had mistakes tonight. And it's burned them. It's burned them bad in the first period.
So a couple chances that the Flyers had. The first one, I think, was the Konechny play where he was dangling in and out of people, and then he just lost possession of the puck right at the very end. Remember this? This was towards the beginning of the period.
Yeah.
The Flyers were shorthanded at one point. Coots has a great pass to Dvorak. Dvorak is the most wide open I've ever seen a player ever. Doesn't even get the shot off. Shesterkin just poke checked him. And then the third one was right before Bump took the penalty when the Flyers were actually on the power play.
That power play was actually that first unit power play, even though they didn't score. That's what you want your power play to look like.
Yeah. So
a lot of chances, a lot of opportunities.
I think Tippett had the grade A of that power play. He probably had the best chance.
Yeah.
And I didn't get the best look at it, so people watching on TV can correct me if I'm wrong here. It looked like he probably should have just shot that puck instead of trying to go cross crease.
Maybe, but the point of it was even after he doesn't make the right decision there. They still controlled the play. They still had it in. They reset up. They got other opportunities. Konechny had an opportunity there. Drysdale had a shot from the point. Zegras had a shot from the far side. Not all of them got through. I mean, Zegras has missed. He went high over the net. I think Drysdale's was tipped or blocked.
Yeah.
But they were at least creating space and creating opportunities. I really liked the way that they moved, and it was interesting. You saw Konechny in the bumper spot, which is not normal for him, and so they were creating more to the middle of the ice and kind of moving around. So really, I liked how that looked for the 59 seconds they were on the ice.
Is there such a thing as Shesterkin is so imposing and intimidating as a goaltender that maybe that's why sometimes it's not people's first instinct to shoot on him and try to make that extra pass? Is that it? Does that exist?
Yeah, well, I'm not necessarily sure it's always the goalie, right? But you kind of have an idea of how the team plays in front of the goalie, and how their penalty kill plays. Like you can see a couple times, both Zegras and Drysdale on that power play, they were deking a lot. So they probably had a sense from their video work that the Rangers are an aggressive PK in the sense that you can get them moving one way and then cut back the other, right? So you kind of saw that. I mean, you saw, like you said, you talked about Tippett's play where he kind of weaved through.
Yes.
Again, you're trying to get them out of position, right? And so that maybe they saw something on film, and you can overcorrect that way sometimes. Like you really could. Like you could think, okay, well, I know they showed us this on film. We're going to get them moving, when in essence you probably had a shot that you could have taken. You're always thinking, let's get them moving first. And that's a situation that you're talking about, right? I think that can certainly happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to do the stat?
Stat of the night. Intern Andrew's stat of the night. It's time. You going to put that up on the screen like Russ does, or no? Is there a thing for it? I'll put it up if I can find it. I don't even know where it would be. Banners, right? Under banners. I'll find it.
I got it.
You got it?
Yeah.
There you go.
All right. We'll start with the Flyers here. Alex Bump.
Yes.
His debut. against the Pittsburgh Penguins. Scored a goal.
Yes.
Very, very cool moment for him. That was his entire family that was in attendance there, right?
Yeah, more than his family. There's a lot of people. They all had matching T-shirts, too. It's great.
Yeah, what a stretch for him, winning the national championship last year at Western Michigan, scoring a goal in his first career game. Should he replicate that feat and score again tonight, he'll become the 7th player in Flyers history to score in each of his first 2 NHL games with the franchise. The other 6, Morgan Frost did it.
Morgan Frost scored a goal in each of his first 2 games?
He did, yeah.
Well, what a precipitous drop it was after that.
You'll have to help me with this name because I don't remember this guy at all. David Lalibert?
Oh, Laliberty. David Laliberty.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was not very good. I do remember
that. He got off to a great start.
I do remember he got off to a tremendous start. Like, oh, look at this prospect. Where did he come from? And then he fell off the map. Yeah.
Obviously, Lindros did it. Mel Bridgman did it. Andre Lacroix.
Well, that's going way back.
Bill Sutherland did it in 67, 68.
Yeah.
And then for the Rangers, I gave you the Zibanejad one already. But Adam Fox comes into this game 398 career points. So if he should pick up a couple of points tonight, he'll become the 6th fastest American defenseman to 400 points in his career. The quickest was Brian Leach, ironically another former Ranger, did it in 380 games. Quinn Hughes did it in 421. Gary Suter in 421. Phil Housley did it in 444. And Mark Howe in 456 games. This is Fox's 467th game today.
Okay. All right. That's good stuff. Good stuff. By the way, funny thing from the other night. Did you see that, you know how when they do the locker room celebration after a win, that they give the Bernie mask to the star of the game, right? Yeah. Well, Nick Delorier had it in his hockey bag and accidentally took the hockey mask to Carolina with him. So when they went to present Alex Bump with the mask, they didn't have it. So they made one out of paper. The trainers made one out of paper.
Really?
The equipment guys made one out of paper. And they just they put marker for the holes where the holes would be, and they cut 2 eyes out of it, and they gave him the paper, and he held it up to his face, which I thought was kind of a cool, funny thing. But
so whose idea was the picture with the Bobby Brink poster and the handshake? Was that you or Russ?
So Russ, as we were walking, we walked the same path out. Everywhere. They're not. I thought they were applauding for us. They're actually applauding Mike, the organist. Thought they were applauding us. As we were walking out, that our normal path, Russ has to make his pit stop at the little boys' room on the way out, right?
As always.
I'm just kind of standing there as we're walking out, and Russ goes, "Oh, look, a Delorier banner was right there, right above our heads." And I said, "Yeah, I guess that'll be the last time that's up." And Russ goes, "We should take a picture." So we took a picture of the banner. And he goes, "Well, let's see. We should go find Bobby Brink and Rasmus Ristolainen. In case they're traded, we'll take those pictures too." So we went over, and I'm like, I didn't want to. In all honesty, I didn't want to do it because I had no idea where they were. I'm like, I'm not walking all the way around the arena. I'm pretty tired. I want to go home. So Russ goes, "Let's just look over here." So it was kind of just past where we would leave the building, and of course, Bobby Brink's right there.
Let me see if I'll pull it up. Actually.
Yeah, and so of course Bobby Brink's right there. So he's like, "Oh man, we got to do the Bobby Brink picture." I'm like, "Okay." So we walk over to the Bobby Brink banner, and I said to him, we got to do this as a deep cut because only a handful of people will really appreciate it. But we should do a handshake underneath the Bobby Brink banner. Now, for those who don't know, or those who've been with us for a long time, will remember that Bobby Brink was one of intern Andrew's favorite players because
he was the first player to shake my hand.
Once intern joined the program, Bobby Brink was the first player to shake his hand in the locker room when we used to do the potato can. And so Russ and I decided to do a deep cut underneath the Bobby Brink photo. They're the only 2 pictures we took was Delorier and Brink, and lo and behold, those were the only 2 players.
Do you think that if you took the picture with Ristolainen, he would have been moved?
Possibly. Possibly. I mean, they came pretty close, right? They came pretty close to doing it. So so you can blame me. It's my fault because I didn't feel like walking around the building at the end of the game after it was all said and done to go find the Rasmus Ristolainen banner, wherever it's located. I'm not even sure where it's located.
The irony in all of this is that game was against the Minnesota Wild.
Oh, the game that we had Brink?
Yeah, he had 2 goals. He had 2 goals that game. They were the first 2 goals of his career. Yeah. So, and that was the.
How about that?
He kept backing away from you.
Do you remember that?
He kept.
Like you were shooting the video, and I'm interviewing, and I got I got the mic in my hand, and as he's answering the question, he's backing up, and I'm like, we're never going to hear this. So I keep walking towards him, and the more I walked towards him, the more he kept backing up. It was the weirdest thing. I've never had that happen ever before.
Yeah, nice kid though. Very, very nice.
He was a good kid.
And but obviously we wish him all the best with the Wild. And the one thing I did say in that text when I responded to that was like, I'm glad he at least gets to go home. Speaking of which, did you see his high school, Minnetonka, how they lost in the championship game? Heartbreaker in overtime, they lost.
Yeah, I didn't see that. But I'm glad you mentioned that because now I want to pull it up because I put it into the comments. How about what Bill Guerin?
I was just what a weird thing to say.
Yes.
Was it real?
Yeah,
I thought maybe he was like AI.
No, absolutely real. Absolutely real. Let me find it. This is because that's Michael Russo, who's one of the all-time great reporters, been covering the Minnesota Wild since their existence. Talking to Bill Guerin, and he said, this is Bill Guerin's quote, "The first thing I told him was, this is not a family reunion. This is not to get together with your buddies. Tell your buddies and your family, they know where the ticket office is, buy your own freaking tickets, okay? I'm serious, too. Like, I'm half kidding, but I'm half serious. Like, he's coming here to work and to be a part of the Wild and to win. Like, this is not coming home to hang out in Minnetonka, Wayzata, and all that stuff. He's here to work." Like,
what a weird thing to say.
It is very weird to say that. Like, it'd be different if he came in and was like lazy or not doing his job. Like,
he played that night.
Give the kid an opportunity to show you. Like, I don't know. That's a weird thing for a GM to say about a player he just acquired.
Yeah. Maybe that's why Torts kept benching people when they were going home. Because he thought that they were too.
That's right. Benching when they went home.
Yeah, so the players are back on the ice. We'll be back for second intermission. I also, because I don't know how much more we're going to talk about this actual game. I don't know, unless something drastic happens. I do want to talk to you a little bit more about the actual trades that the Flyers made.
Yeah, for sure.
I haven't talked about it with you since they were actually made. But we'll be back for second intermission. Hopefully the Flyers can do, I don't know, something, anything. We'll be back in a little bit. Paul Skeens looks pretty good.
Are you watching that game over there?
I got it on the iPad here, yeah.
Yeah. You always know when intern Andrew's got something on the iPad, it's either Penn State related or the Flyers are playing terrible. One or the other.
Well, the Flyers are playing terrible.
So there you go.
By the way, this is the Press Row Show, #1 rated pregame intermission, postgame show this side of Mississippi, south of the north of the equator, west of Lebanon. I don't know. Michkov scored a goal.
Yeah,
that was fun.
Exciting. It went from bad to worse. There were the first period was bad because I thought, okay, they came out flat, but then I thought they were mistakes that led to Ranger goals. But I still thought that they weren't terrible the way they were playing. The second period, they were terrible. It just got really, really ugly.
So the shots are, it's 24-21 Rangers.
Yeah, they had like a burst where they got a bunch of shots, but that's it. That's it. The second period was awful.
I'm just saying, if you just were to read that, you'd be like, oh, okay, pretty competitive game, I guess. Nope. And the 21 shots that the Flyers had, we mentioned those couple of good chances they had in the first period. I mean, I don't remember ever the Flyers, other than the goal that Michkov scored, I don't remember them ever even being close after that.
Yeah, they might have had one other one, but it was so irrelevant. It was just ugly. And then you can't, Cam York fumbles that puck at on the play, and rather than just get back and play defense, he decides to take a desperation dive at the puck, misses it, and of course gets a tripping penalty. It leads to a goal. Those are plays that are just stupid plays. You cannot make those plays. And I don't know if they're doing it out of desperation and whatever the rationale is, but that's just dumb. It's dumb hockey.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. There's no other way to describe it.
By the way, Zibanejad scored again. So now that's 50 and 52 against the Flyers.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Do you want us to pose or do you want us to be candid?
Just because we're on the air right now. As long as we're still good talking while you're taking this photo of us, totally fine. You got it, my friend. Absolutely. Thanks, bud. Thanks.
We can't go anywhere.
By the way, did you see what jersey he was wearing?
I missed it. What?
He was wearing a Mark Stahl.
Really?
Yes. Mark Stahl Flyers jersey.
I didn't even know they sold those.
Neither did I. He had a Mark Stahl jersey. That's crazy.
All right. So the trade deadline happened. Russ obviously went on his tangent. Have you talked about it on Patterson podcast yet? Or not yet?
Not really.
Okay.
No, I mean I talked about it on radio. I mean I was on 97.5 The Fanatic with Andrew Salchunas in the morning show. I went on with Kevin Cooney on 97.5 Friday night. Talked about it with Jody Mack on WIP.
Oh, look at you.
Did Fox 29. Just not on any of my shows. I've been Philadelphia's guest since the trade deadline, but not any of my shows.
So the DeLorean one, that doesn't really count. I mean, that's not really a trade.
It's not even a trade. It's a conditional 7th round pick.
Yeah.
So that condition's probably not going to be met, and the Flyers aren't going to get anything for it. Right?
Thank you for your service. Please send that mask back when you get a chance.
Yeah. By the way, his family's staying in the area, so I don't think he's looking to go elsewhere after this.
Why does no one want to live in North Carolina? Him, Rantanen was just hell bent on not staying there.
I like Raleigh. I don't know why. I don't get it.
I do too. Yeah, I lived in Apex. That was about 15 minutes away.
Yeah.
The Brink thing happens. Obviously, it broke my heart, but I get it because certainly you could use a defenseman who has the kind of potential that Juracek has, and we've always mentioned, wingers on this team, I would say expendable. So Juracek, I looked at that 2023 World Juniors for Czech Republic. He had 7 points in 7 games. I think that was the year that they won silver.
Yeah.
So if he pans out and then Bonk pans out, I think that could be a very, very good trade that the Flyers made.
Could be. I mean, you need it to I mean, you need him to hit. And look, he worked his way out of Columbus, so I I don't even look at the Columbus time. But the fact that he went to Minnesota and couldn't stick there, and Bill Guerin felt like, oh, well, we'll trade that for Bobby Brink. And that's not meant as a shot at Bobby Brink, but if you're saying, here's the prospect we'll trade you for a third-line winger, makes me think that Minnesota saw something that they thought was a red flag. Now, that doesn't mean it can't be corrected, doesn't mean that the Flyers can't identify that, fix it. From what I understand, the big knock on him in Minnesota was that he never seemed to improve his skating, right? And it's,
good.
This is a thing. Well, but look, it's been a thing with him. He's rangy because of his size, but sometimes that doesn't matter. Like, you're going to get beat by faster, smaller skaters, right? So the Flyers put in the past, they put Tyson Forster, they put Bobby Brink through this off-season lower body training regimen that helped them improve their skating. And it made them better players. I mean, there's no question about it. If you watch the progression of Brink from where he was to where he got to, and then Tyson Forster, same thing, from where he started to where he was before he got hurt. And you see that can sometimes help, right? And so there's the plan is to kind of get him, Jiricek, into that same training program. And I think that they feel like this is a guy that could quickly arrive to the NHL level next season. I mean, he's going to come up this year. He's going to play this year. I promise you, unless he gets hurt with the Phantoms, he's going to come up and play games for the Philadelphia Flyers this year. But they think that early in next season, he could become a regular. Now, where in the lineup, that's to be determined. They think his upside is kind of like that. I mean, he's got a higher ceiling than most. They think he could he eventually get to be a 2? Probably. I don't think so, but they think maybe. I think he's better suited for that middle pair, but he's got a bomb from the point. And so if nothing else, here's a guy that can give you a little bit of something on the power play, which, as we all know, has been terrible for 6 years, right?
Just try anyone.
All right.
Try anyone.
So I think that's kind of the thing that they look at and say, if nothing else, he can help us on the power play.
All right. And then I think the grand finale of this whole conversation is the trade that didn't happen, and it's that Rasmus Ristolainen is still here. And I think most, if not all, of the people that wanted moves to be made wanted him to be one of them. So was it just a matter of the Flyers felt like they weren't getting enough in return, or were they just making the decision that, like, we want him to stay because we're going to take a run at this thing?
No. It wasn't that at all. And I know there's probably a segment of people out there who believe that, and that's not it at all. The one thing I can tell you about Briere, whether you agree with him or disagree with him, is he's somebody who sticks to his guns when he believes what a player's value is. Either a player he's trying to acquire or a player he's looking to move. And I asked him about this, and if people watched the press conference on Friday, it was my question that he responded to. You know, he talked about the Trevor Zegras deal, right? He said, I talked to Pat Verbeek for better part of 2 years before we finally made a deal.
This is even before the Gauthier trade was made, that he was having these conversations?
Yes.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. Okay, so for better part of 2 years, they were talking to the Ducks about getting him. And ultimately, he got him for his price. And he said, look, sometimes the deal is you're not ready. Sometimes the deal is the other team's not ready. Sometimes you're not willing to give up what they want. Sometimes they're not willing to accept what you want. And he says, and you just keep working it. You just keep working it. You keep working it. I think Rasmus Ristolainen, Danny looked at it and said, when you look at other defensemen around the league, have been getting a 1 and a prospect. Some kind. It doesn't have to be like a top flight prospect, but that kind of AB level prospect, right? Next tier, middle of your lineup kind of guy, either second, third line or second pair defense, whatever the case might be.
Okay.
And so he thought that Ristolainen's worth a 1 and that. He didn't get that offer. And if he were to, let's say, settle for less, in his mind, he feels like that tells people around the league that I'm going to bend or I'm going to break at some point, and I'm going to take less than what I feel my player is worth.
Okay.
He would rather stick to his guns on this and hold out till the summertime when more teams are available to discuss this and say, okay, now let's see if out of 31 teams as opposed to out of 6 or 7 that I have an opportunity to get what I feel is the value for the player. Now, if in the summer he doesn't get that one plus a prospect, then maybe he's wrong. Maybe he needs to reevaluate.
Briere, talking about
Briere,
okay.
Yeah. Maybe then he needs to reevaluate what he should get for the player. But he looks at it as this was the first time I really, really thought about moving him for that price. I think I can fetch that price. He's done it in the past. Like we saw it with the Lawton trade last year, right? I mean, that was a deal that if you would have told people going into the trade deadline, like 2-3 weeks before the trade deadline, I'm going to get a first-round pick and an NHL player for Scott Lawton. Like, people would have laughed at that. Like, if you watch the Flyers pretty regularly, right? I mean, like, no shot. And then he did because he took advantage of a desperate Toronto team. But he got what he wanted. And he got it after holding on to him the year before when he had an opportunity to trade him. 2 years before that, he had an opportunity to trade him and didn't. And at that time, I was told the Rangers had been discussing with him a first-round pick, right? So ultimately, by holding on, he got more for the player.
Okay.
Closer to the end of his contract. Whether that's going to be the case here, we'll see. I would have traded him. I would have moved him personally, but I understand why he didn't. I won't understand why he doesn't if he holds on to him into next season, because that doesn't make any sense to me. Because at that point, you're going into the final year of a contract with a player. And
that was going to be my next point.
Yeah, and he's likely not going to be part of the team that is eventually that you're building to contend.
Right.
So why are you waiting that long? Because now when you get to a player that's a UFA in season, you're probably not getting the return that you wanted. So to me, I'm okay with waiting here, but I'm not okay with waiting past June.
So you don't want it to be a deadline deal next year?
Well, I mean, if it is, I think he missed his opportunity.
Okay.
That's my point. Like, I mean, if he's going to trade him at some point, right? I mean, he even said that in the press conference. That's another thing. I think people hear the press conference and they get all caught up in the wrong things. But if you listen carefully to what he said, was he compared, because somebody asked him the question about why Risto's still on the team, and the response that he gave was when he was talking about, if I think it was Charlie's question. Charlie said to him, do you worry that now that you've acquired Jiricek and you have Bonk, that you're blocking them by keeping Risto? And Danny's response to that question was, it's like Bobby Brink. He said, when you have players that are ready, and he talked about Martone and then Alex Bump, obviously, we'll make room for him. So if those guys are ready, Jiricek and Bonk, they'll make room for him. Okay. That's him saying, I'm going to trade the guy. I mean, he basically told you in that press conference without saying it that he's going to trade the guy.
Okay.
Now, the question is when and what do you get in return? That's where I'm on the fence about this. I would have traded him Friday. I understand why he's waiting till the summer. If he gets what he wants in the summer, then he did it right. And he was right and everybody else was wrong, right? But if he doesn't get what he wants in the summer, then he's wrong and everybody else is right.
Okay.
In my mind, right?
That was a long path you took us down there. Made my job easier, though.
Andrew, I'm trying to kill time here.
I know.
All right, you got to get to your trivia question.
All right.
Which probably I'm not going to know the answer to, but we'll see.
Don't do the song. Don't even bother. So I think I've asked you about this series before, and if I remember correctly, you said you were working for the team at this point. And it was the 2014 first-round series between the Flyers and the Rangers.
That was my last. So I got laid off right after that.
Sorry to hear that.
Right after that series ended.
So Game 6 of that series was here. The Rangers were leading 3-2. Flyers obviously needed to win to keep the series alive and send it to a 7th game, which they did. They won that game 5-2. Wayne Simmons, if memory serves me correctly, had a hat trick.
Mm-hmm.
So when the Flyers were up 2-0 in this game, they were killing a penalty.
Okay.
And Braden Coburn, right as the penalty was expiring, launched the puck down the ice and hit the guy coming out of the penalty box, sprung him on a breakaway. He scored. It was an absolutely electric goal that put the Flyers up 3-0. Who was that goal scorer?
coming out of the penalty box.
Yes.
Is that Matt Reed?
No.
Wow. Wasn't Jake, right?
Nope.
Okay. That's a good question.
I'll give you a big hint. Once we get to the 1 minute mark on the clock here, I'll give you a hint that I think would give it away.
I see. I know it's not. I know it's not one of the top players. Right. So I'm trying to think who was further down the
really
lineup.
Be trivia then.
Yeah, I'm trying to think who was further down the lineup that year. And you can see I'm not looking so that
I know.
Yeah.
I got you. No one in the chat, for whatever it's worth, has gotten it.
Okay. How about Darryl Powell?
No. All right.
Give me a clue.
Coincidentally, he has the same exact name as another player that played for the Flyers briefly.
Oh yeah. Okay. Is you talking about? Oh, wait a second. He has the same name as another Flyer?
Yes.
So two players with the same name both played for the Flyers.
At one point, yes.
Eric Gustafson.
Yes, correct.
Okay. All right.
Not at the same time.
I just wanted to make sure that I got what you were saying before I gave that answer.
It was Eric Gustafson.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
As random and obscure a player as you can imagine.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, the first 2 years ago when I first started doing trivia, I asked about Game 7 of that series, and the other obscure player was Jason Atkinson.
Jason Atkinson.
I
got that one right.
You did, yes.
If I recall.
You certainly did.
Yeah.
You certainly did. All right. Well, we killed that off. I assume it's going to be a relatively quick post game because this game is just uggo.
Yes.
Uggo.
Yes.
Hopefully the United States can pull this one out against Mexico. That's where all my attention's going for this period.
I think that was just a hit by Bryce Harper right there.
Did Yeah, I had a feeling Urson's in net.
Yeah.
I had a feeling.
Yeah, I knew they weren't going to let Vladar continue to take the beating that he took.
Yeah. All right, we'll be back for post game. Flyers just playing for pride at this point. We'll talk to you in a little bit.
Yeah, intern. Let's keep it to 5.
Yeah. 5. That might be 4.5 minutes too long. We're back in the Press Row Show, #1 rated pregame, intermission, postgame show, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Hey, Sean Couturier scored against the goalie.
He sure did. And the Caps are leading by example in a game that they get blown out at home 6-2.
It's been, 34 games since he scored on a goalie? Something like that.
So this is now it's the third time that the Flyers have lost to the Rangers this season. The second time that they've lost in regulation. Both of them were at home, and on aggregate were outscored 12-5, 6-3, and 6-2.
Yeah.
And Zibanejad, again, I think had all 12 of those goals.
Seems like it.
I don't know, other than the Couturier goal, no one else scored, right? Because it was 6-1 going into the third. So
Yeah.
I don't know how much there is left to say. I mean, Shesterkin was great as always. I think he ended up with like 33 saves or something like that. Trevston 93, a beautiful tank game. If there's one thing that Flyers fans can take from this is that they actually diminished the Rangers' chances of getting Gavin McKenna with this. So at least we can take solace in that.
There you go.
I don't know. What is there anything left to say?
No, I'm going to be curious to see what everybody says after the game, because that's just embarrassing, right? And you know what's going to happen. Like, Vladar will take a lot of it on himself. He didn't have a great game today, and which is, in all honesty, it probably was his worst game as a Flyer.
That's fair.
It really was. But there's something to be said for the way that. Well, I'll explain it this way. They didn't pull him in the second period, even though the Rangers scored twice in like the final couple minutes there in the second period.
Yeah.
He didn't pull him in the period.
He did it during the intermission.
He did it during intermission, and what that is a sign to me is a sign of appreciation for the way that the guys played all year. That you don't want to pull him in front of the crowd.
Yes, agree. Plus, I think most coaches would.
The game's over at that point.
Yeah.
Once it's 5-1, really. I mean, it's over.
Mm-hmm.
And then it comes 6-1. And he could have pulled them then, too. And it was just like, you know what?
Just ride it out.
Ride it out, and we'll make the goalie change between periods. That way, the crowd doesn't have to see him come off the ice because of how good he's been all year.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that's the goalie will appreciate that, but he'll also be the first guy to stand up in that locker room and take responsibility for tonight.
You did mention, I think, during the Chickies and Pete's show last week, the bringing up the idea of maybe just giving him like a 2 or 3 year extension. The more I think about it, the more that I think that makes sense, because I think that once that's up, that's probably about the time you would pass the baton to Bjarnason.
Yeah, not only that, I mean, or Zavragan as well.
Right.
Either one, right? I mean,
Bjarnason's 20, so that would make him 23 at the time, which is usually when NHL goalies
start to, yeah. And even if the third year of Vladar is your backup to either Bjarnason or Zavragan, that's fine. If one of them jumps up and is like, okay, they're going to take the job.
Yeah.
Right. And I said, I mean, look, he's already signed through next year, so I was saying 3 years beyond that, which gets you to his like age 33 season.
Okay.
Or he turns 33 during that season, whatever it is, right? I think that's a fair amount of time, and I think it makes sense. And I don't think he's going to cost a fortune either. So
no, probably not.
Yeah.
So there was one thing that I wanted to get to earlier, but I kept forgetting to bring it up, so we'll bring it up now. So Russ the other day on his show, and this is not going to turn out to be like a clown Russ segment, as fun as that would be. It's all connected to the goaltending, so bear with me here. But he mentioned, like, he brought up what the Flyers' records have been in years past once they reached the trade deadline. And he brought up the fact that they had the same exact record this year as they did in 2016 at the trade deadline. Mm-hmm. And he was like flipping out about it, being like, it's 10 years, they haven't done it. Well, I do have to remind Russ, the Flyers did make the playoffs in 2016. I don't think that's going to happen this year, but it did then. I say all that to say this.
You mean you're giving context to something Russ said?
Yes.
Come now, Andrew, you should know better than that. Russ is listening to Russ is like eating a bowl of Tricks for breakfast, a bowl of Fruit Loops for lunch, and a bowl of Fruity Pebbles for dinner.
That sounds like a great day.
I mean, that's what listening to Russ is about.
That sounds like a great day. I don't know what you're
It
talking
tastes good, but it's got no substance. And it doesn't sustain.
Like I said, it's all connected to the goaltending here. So that 2016 team that made the playoffs, I wanted to see if I was remembering it correctly, and I did remember correctly. So I went back and looked at the game log. Steve Mason started 17 of the Flyers' final 19 games that year.
He was good.
And one of the two that he didn't start was that last game of the year against the Islanders that didn't even count for anything because it was the makeup for the game that got snowed out.
Right.
So really 17 out of the last 18 was all Mason and was fantastic.
He was a better goalie than people realize. Like if I had to put Flyers all-time goalies, right? He's probably 5th, 6th, somewhere in that range.
Okay.
Like seriously, it's crazy to say that, but it's legit true.
I think he's still 3rd on the all-time wins list.
Yeah.
Anyways, it seemed like coming into tonight, the Flyers were adopting that same philosophy with Vladar because this was the 9th game of the last 10 that Vladar has started, right? But now, after seeing what happened tonight, I'm wondering if you just saw a guy who may have just run out of gas.
Well, they may have. I bet there's a brake pump here. I think that Erisson's going to get a start coming up.
That's my point. Yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if it's Wednesday and then give Dan until the weekend.
Mason, by the way, Mason at that 2016 stretch at one point started 12 in a row.
Yeah.
For that. Like that's I don't know if Vladar has that in him or not.
That was the one year I did not cover hockey.
Yeah. You did mention that.
The 2015-16 season was the one year I did not cover hockey.
That was a fun team too.
Yeah.
But yeah. With that said, what is the % chance that we see Kolosov dressed as a Flyer again at some point this season? Maybe not play, but on the active roster and suited up for a game.
I don't know. Maybe the end, maybe like the last game or something like that. I don't know. I think that they're going to let these two guys ride it out. They're obviously going to replace Erisson next year. He's not going to be here next year. That's it. I mean, unless somebody's dinged up or injured or whatever, I think it's going to be Vladar and Erisson the rest of the way.
This is just what you see is what you get, you think, at this point?
Yeah. I mean, look, they're not going anywhere, right? We know this. So you're basically playing out the string, 19 games left, whatever it is, right? You're not gonna sit there and go, oh, let's call up Kolosov and not play so-and-so. Like, I don't even know if Kolosov's been given them enough of a reason to call him up. I mean, he's been decent for the Phantoms. I mean, he's not been bad, but it's not like he's, dominating competition in the AHL. You sit there and go, oh man, we got to get this guy back to the NHL. Like, he's been fine, but not like I got to play him in the NHL. Like, I don't see that. So
other than once eventually Michigan State season ends and Martone joins, other than Martone, what other like new faces do you think?
Well, Jiricek is going to get a chance to play.
Okay.
Maybe Oliver Bunk gets a game or two at the end of the year. Maybe.
That would be all of the Killer Bees then. All playing together.
Yeah. Although they traded one of them.
Who was the other? Who? Oh, Brink. I actually wasn't even including. He was a double B.
Yeah.
I wasn't even including it. I just meant
Russ
Bunk
is in New York. He just texted us and said he's in New York.
I'm happy that he made it there safely.
Look at you, Russ. And I love that he texts. I love that he joins these shows from the Russ Joy Show. He is the greatest self-marketer I've ever known in my life.
You got to respect the hustle.
I mean, I've ever known. He has his own YouTube account. Like, it could be just Russ Joy, or he could chime in from Twitter or whatever. He signs in all the time from the Russ Joy Show.
Look at that snazzy logo, though.
It is a snazzy logo. It's like a late night. It's like he goes on during the day, and with that logo, it's like that's something that should be on at like 1:30 in the morning. Right?
I could see that, actually.
With the neon, like a little flashing thing, right?
That would be good. That'd be good. Like, just for like one episode, we do like a Russ After Dark. He goes live at 1:30 in the morning. All right. I think that's all I have.
By the way, you don't want to see Russ at 1:30 in the morning. The only time I've ever seen Russ at 1:30 in the morning was after my wedding.
I heard he was pretty banged up.
Oh. So my daughter has a friend who is from Puerto Rico, who was at my wedding. And so obviously she's fluent in Spanish. Well, Russ, at 1:30 in the morning, decides to show off the fact that he used to be a Spanish teacher and starts yelling. Like we're sitting at the bar in the hotel, like out in the whatever. And he's like yelling at her in Spanish. Like they're going at it in Spanish, back and forth at each other. Like, but it was angry Russ.
About who? About what? Michkov?
Who knows? I don't understand what the heck they were saying. I don't know. It was just entertaining. It was funny. It was funny to watch drunk Russ and my daughter's friend like chirping each other in Spanish.
Wish I was there.
It was great. It was fun.
All right. Well, thank you, people, for bearing with us on this otherwise pretty dreary evening here at Xfinity Mobile Arena. Certainly not the best showing from the your team, your town, your Philadelphia Flyers, but we'll try again Wednesday against my arch nemesis, the Washington Capitals, and I'm doing this baby myself.
Well, not yourself.
Well,
you do have Bundy.
Yeah, in theory.
And you got Meltzer. Bill Meltzer's working the show with you.
Yes.
So you will have Meltzer. So it'll be you and Bill pregame, and then Bundy will join you guys during the game. While Russ is still up in New York for work, and I'm in Clearwater, where I'll be for the next 9 days.
Do you like covering spring training, or does it bore you?
I like it. I do like it. It's the reason I like it is because it's like, hey, it's getting to the nice time of year. You get to go down there and, you get to enjoy some baseball and some good weather. Like I enjoy that part of it. It's a long ass day. You got to be there 7:30 in the morning at the media room. Just kind of take you through. So it's like, and I know I'm griping about covering sports, right? It's like it's a real job. But you can watch people actually work real jobs and then have to listen to me complain about mine. But you get there 7:30 in the morning, and you're working. They go into the clubhouse like around 8-ish, and they have like an availability for I don't know let's say an hour, and then you're kind of on your own until game time, which is 1:00. But there are often times where guys are like, for example, the other day, Zach Wheeler was throwing a bullpen session. So you go out and you go to the backfield and you go watch his bullpen and, whatever, and might have an interview. And so like you're working, you're writing, you're talking to people. There is a lot of standing around, which sucks. That's the sucky part. Then you get some lunch. Then you have the game. But all the regulars come out of the game, usually like the 5th or 6th inning.
Right.
Yeah. And so then they open up the clubhouse again while the game's going on. And so we'll go down and we interview the players in the clubhouse after the game, whatever the stories that we're working on. But you can't get Rob Thompson, the manager, until after the game.
Right. So
we end up sitting in the clubhouse and watch the last 3 innings where these minor league players are playing on the TVs in the clubhouse. And invariably what happens is those games go like an extra hour because it's like one change after another, a lot of runs scored. Like the Padres scored 27 runs in a game the other day.
They don't have like a slaughter rule in spring training?
They don't. It's stupid. It's so stupid. And so that's the part that it drains you. And then you got to go back up to the press box and you write. And then so you don't get out of there until, 5:30. So you've been there, it's like 7:30 to 5:30. And then it's like, okay, go grab something to eat and then go home, sleep, and come right back the next day. You don't really, it's not like a vacation. Like I don't go down. It's like I'm not going to the beach. Might go to a bar one night or something like that. But no, it's okay. But I enjoy it.
Well, make sure you wear sunscreen. All right, so I think that's that.
Yeah.
So Wednesday, like I said, I'm back here with Meltzer and Bundy, and then the Chickies and Pete's got pushed back to Thursday this week, right?
Thursday, yes.
Where is it?
Bordentown,
New Jersey,
up near Trenton. I will not be at that one either.
That's a haul. That's a haul for me.
Yeah, it is. And then I'm back for the next Snow the Goalie, which would be the following Wednesday at Northeast Philly.
Okay.
Yeah, Roosevelt Boulevard.
And you said you're only missing 2 press row shows.
I'm missing 2 press row shows. Yeah.
Okay.
See you, Friggy.
That was a fun one, right?
Aren't you glad you asked?
Yeah. I I don't think that we have to go any further than that.
No.
And on that note,
No, we don't.
Thank you everybody for watching. Rate, review, subscribe, share, all of that good stuff. And I will talk to all of you Wednesday night against the Washington Capitals. See you then.